Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and we have a lovely Wednesday tonight. At least it's a night here in Estonia, and we will begin today's presentation about a new revolutionary technology. Actually, it's already about 6 or 7 years old. Materialized. But of course, the idea behind this new technology goes back actually about 40 years ago when Dr. Anatoli Eduardovich, who is the creator of this technology, first came to the idea and realized that we need to change something here on this planet Earth because we are going to devastate this planet and overwhelm it if we don't change our ways of thinking and our in terms of transport and then production industries. And then the idea arose that we should take the technology and our infrastructure to the second level, and this is why SkyWay is here. So, all right, let's start. My name is Mihkel. I'm from Estonia, as stated, and I have been SkyWay investor and promoter, also a speaker and the introducer of this technology to all different kind of parties, governments, and so on for about 3 years now. And it's been a pleasure. This journey has been a great pleasure to me and my surroundings. So I'm very happy that I chose this path, and I have so much to tell you about tonight. And then, without further introduction, let's begin and see what this amazing technology is. Well, of course, we have to realize that every technology has to be certified by different standards. If we want to sell our technology, for example, in Europe, we have to certify the technology by European standards. The same goes to tropical climates, for example, in the United Arab Emirates, or for example, in Russia. There are different standards. They are all, almost the same, where the basic layers are the same, but the details are different. For example, in tropical climates, there is the heat and then different climate conditions that has to be covered. And then in Europe, we have, again, different climate conditions. For example, this strong or a heavy wind, heavy snowfall. And then in diversifying this, for example, tropical climates, there are heavy windfalls, and then the sand conditions, and so on. So in every continent there are specific reasons that's why the technologies has to be certified by those standards. But as we might understand, or if you have heard about SkyWay technology and you're not new here, then you know that by Belarus and Russian standards, we have already been certified many models and track structures, and now most recently our technology, SkyWay technology, was certified in the United Arab Emirates as well, and that's a great and huge news, because now it's possible for the tropical climate countries to successfully and without any fear or uncertainty implement this technology to their environment. Yes, so first of all, let's see some pictures, because we started with United Arab Emirates, and actually this is the Innovation Center, what you see on this picture right now. This is the first track, the 400-meter track for Unicar, tropical Unicar, which is actually very luxurious. It has 4 seats, and it has all this, all these specific conditions are filled to maintain the work in that climate. But the first, I would just briefly touch another topic, or the same topic, but another continent. The first demonstration and certification park is Eco Park, which is located in Belarus. And then me personally, I have been in both of these demonstration and certification centers, both in Belarus, where is the Eco Park, and here, what you see on this picture as well, or there, to be exact. Then in United Arab Emirates, and this is the Sharjah Emirate. It's about 40 to 50 kilometers from Dubai. And this one here, this is also one revolutionary building SkyWay managed to do in United Arab Emirates. This is the first ever built wooden house in United Arab Emirates, at least officially first ever built a wooden house, and special permission for it was received or given to Unitsky and SkyWay. And basically this house should maintain everything by itself. It should produce everything by itself, the electricity, the heat or the cool, or the water, for example, and grow its plants there, so the food as well. So this is also one product of SkyWay. Then this is the tropical unicar, and I'm honored to say that I have tested this myself as well, but in Belarus, about 15 to 20 meters above the ground, I got the chance to drive on the track, but I will show one picture as well about this track in the future. This one is here describes the, well, as we know, the technologies, when we are going to certify them, there are different steps we have to do or cover, and the first step is to well, if you think about the SkyWay, then the first step was to just roll the rolling stock there, or ride the rolling stock there without any human beings on board, only the rolling stock, to test all these well, components and so on, so it works well. And the second phase is to, well, the first phase actually is to project everything, then the second phase was to test it only the rolling stock on the track, and the third phase is to test it with passengers as well on board, so to get feedback from the feeling, how they felt and were they comfortable, and what's necessary to do more, and so on, to get that feedback. And also the boarding and the deboarding, and then all these aspects. There are many things. So these are simple steps, but they all take time, and it takes hundreds of thousands of kilometers to test on the track. So yes, this the girl on the picture was a journalist when they first, well, when the SkyWay announced that now they will test with human beings as well, then many journalists went to United Arab Emirates and wanted to test it and make a story. And this one also got many views and was covered in French television, mainly, of course, around the world as well. But I just recall the French television. I know they said that this is a special and revolutionary next step in the history of humankind, because now we have the chance to transport the sea containers as well on the second level transportation, the string transportation. And but this is a smaller sea container, what you see on the picture. And then soon I will show you one thing what's even more awesome than this one. But this previous slide was I will show you it again. This is my personal favorite track structure. I call it monorail, and this is like a string. It's basically impossible to see the track structure far away. It doesn't harm any eyesight or so on, and it looks very beautiful and very neat. All right, let's continue now with our main part of presentation, and first I want to take you back back about 100 years ago, when one artist and visionary, who pictured our future, as you can see on this slide. And this was mainly, well, the idea behind this picture what I like to see, or what I see here, and what I always like to describe, is that today, if we think about today's what we have nowadays, what technologies exist, and how is the infrastructure, at least in most of the biggest cities, for example in Rome or in Paris, in New York, or in St. Petersburg or Moscow, and so on, then we have the perfect first level infrastructure. We have trams, cars, taxis, all these new technologies, and they all are going electrical as well, as we know. Then we have underground technologies, subways or metros, and then we still have the problems. The problems grow with well, if you think about the roads or the paths, they are like the blood, or like the veins in our body, and why there are problems, because the population grows, for example, and more and more people goes to live in the city, and we just cannot tear down any old buildings inside the city to build new road structure on the first level, and therefore we need new solutions. And what I see, and what this artist saw, was that we need to go to the second level. That's the chance. And so there today I see more and more in the news, and then in the discussions, that people are getting to, are understanding more and more that we have to go to the second level, and therefore new solutions are coming. But mostly the solutions which are offered are not at all like SkyWay, and more about it I will tell you soon. Or actually not, soon, we can say, on the next slides. So people have tried to go on the second level, and then there are many technologies that people have made before. For example, like on the right side, that's the monorail. Monorail goes up to about 80 kilometers per hour maximum speed. It's very expensive. In Dubai, for example, they built a 5-kilometer track structure which cost about 70 million US dollars per kilometer, and it was more than 10 years ago. Now it's much more expensive, well, at least to construct there in Dubai, because I did a research about that topic. Then I just recall that number very well. And but the average is usually 30 to 40 million US dollars per kilometer. But of course today it's more expensive due to the inflationary environment that we see today almost everywhere around the world. Yes, this is also monorail. So this is a very massive construction. It looks heavy, it's slow, it makes a lot of noise, and it's quite slow comparing to SkyWay. So and metro, of course, as well. They were beautiful in Russia. And this one is this technology is presented in Germany. Again, the supports have to be after every 10 to 15 meters, 20 meters, as you can see beside the riverside. And then again, it's quite massive. If you look at the roof or the structure to which it holds, the technology holds itself or clings. This one is from China. This is basically like a tram. If you think about the technological aspects, then this is like a tramway, but it's just upside down. Then this one, this is the technology that most of, this is, it's also not that long ago when they started to implement these technologies. So this is well-known technology, and many countries around the world want to implement this technology because they're not aware about new technologies like SkyWay, or at least they weren't. But what is the main difference if we compare this one with SkyWay technologies? That this one has this one wheel, as you can see, the orange one on the right side. This is the wheel which is usually at the beginning of the road structure, and this one spins. And so the road structure, the string moves because of the wheel which spins and moves the string, but the models like SkyWay has Unibus or Unicar, these capsules or models where people are located in, which take people from one point to another. Those cling stiffly or hold stiffly to the string themselves, so these models do not move, but the road structure moves, and therefore the speed is about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. So it's very slow, and it's quite it's quite expensive. Plus, it's not that safe as well. If again we compare it with SkyWay. Now the next slide. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, the accident. It's the Doppelmayr, the technology which many governments today want to implement, but again, they're not very safe. All right, I would like to introduce to you now more about the SkyWay, and therefore I welcome you to the new age, to the 21st century, because SkyWay is something which the world has never seen before. It has so many different good aspects about the technology that that has to be told, and therefore I am here to tell you all this. All right, and to cover the topic perfectly, I have made 7 points, the 7 main points to tell you the story of SkyWay and why SkyWay is here, and why SkyWay will stay and will be implemented around the world sooner or later. First, of course, is innovation. It is very innovative. Just look at the road structure. What you can see on the slide, it looks beautiful. And this actually, the certain concrete picture what you see on the slide, this is animation, but the same is done already in United Arab Emirates. So if during the Expo, as you know, this year the Expo 2020 started in October, and it goes on until March, some date in March it will end. So if you go there in Dubai during this time, you can go to the Expo. It's about 60 to 80 US dollars per day, the ticket to visit the Expo. Then you can witness the SkyWay technology there as well, and go to the Innovation Center by yourself to see technology with your own eyes. So this is a great thing. All right, let's see. Yeah, so this is the double rail. So first one, my favorite, was the monorail, like a string, what you can see here, sorry, here as well behind me. And this one here is the double rail, and this picture, and this, if you get idea, this makes it, then you will understand why this technology is special as well. So let's compare it, for example, with trainways. When the trainway is located or implemented on the ground, then it can, the train can go only one side at the same time, in one direction. But with SkyWay, you can drive both above and below the track structure. So therefore, it has this. It has doubled the efficiency of the idea of transportation by railways. So that's why it's a great technology. So for example, on above there can be the highway, which doesn't have many stops. That's maybe only one stop. It goes directly from point A to point B, 500 kilometers per hour, and below it can be the express, or not the express, sorry, but the line which has many stops. And that one can go up to 150 kilometers per hour. So the speeds are also enormous comparing with another technologies. But more about the rail structure itself. It is basically a rail frame which is filled with special filler, and the main aspect are the pre-stressed strings, which are implemented inside the rail frame, and also there can be in the rail frame there can be these special tubes for electricity, for internet cables, and so on. So we can maintain and cover surroundings with necessary, well, conditions, like having electricity or internet. Yeah, so a few years ago I went to EcoFest in Belarus, and I made a video as well. So if you go to YouTube, put in my name, and then search for my channel, then you can see this is about 1 minute long video. And I also did it, well, the Unicar, which you can see on the monorail there in the background above the ground, about 15-20 meters. I got the chance to ride with it as well. So I made a video when I was on it and when I took the trip with it. So it's all covered there. It was a special day, and whenever we get the chance next time to go there, because as we know, due to the pandemic, global pandemic, there was no chance to make this event again past 2 years. So hopefully next year or after that one we have the chance to go there. But this year we have, and in the beginning of next year we have the chance to go to Expo 2020 in United Arab Emirates, and then we can also visit the Innovation Center there in Sharjah. All right. So the second point is that, or aspect is that it's ecological, and ecology is very, very, very important these days. So first of all, it's fully electrical. It doesn't produce any CO2 levels. There can be solar panels implemented to this track structure, and will be implemented. And of course, again, also we can harvest the electricity from the wind by wind turbines or with wind turbines, which can be implemented both to the road structure and to the modules as well. And here on this slide you can see as well what I meant by the express line, which goes directly from one point to another, can be above 500 kilometers. Yes, you heard right. I didn't think about it only by myself or came up with it, but it really is happening. The 500 to 600 kilometers per hour technology or the capability by SkyWay, and below there can be the Unibus or the Unicar, which can go, or which will go up to 150 kilometers per hour and can take many stops on the road. But more about ecology, let's see. Yeah, CO2 levels I already introduced, so this is kind of past. Well, this is a history. I think I don't have to comment the previous slide more. All right, and the next aspect is the wind resistance, which has been taken to minimum by Dr. Anatoli Yunitsky, and this is due to two main reasons. One is the shape of the models, which basically is meant to cut the wind perfectly, and the second one is to well, there is no screen effect. By screen effect I mean there is no road structure beneath the models, like with cars there is asphalt or other road structures directly under the wheels, but with SkyWay the wind can go perfectly under the model because there is a rail structure, and then it doesn't make any impact there. So therefore it's about 5 to 10 times less, and it needs therefore much less energy consumption for its maintenance or for its well, to move shortly put. Yeah, and all different kind of problems. Well, because of United Arab Emirates, I have heard this many times. There are, well, I know because was there. There are strong windfalls very often, and to maintain the roads on the first level or on the ground structure, it takes a lot of resources. As well in winter, the problem with the commercial trains or the train structure roads are that the heavy snowfall can lift the commercial train above the track structure, and it can go off it. So therefore, the special heavy drains are needed, which will clear the path before the commercial one. So again, great resources are needed. And here, this is, I think, or believe, this is the main reason why SkyWay is so awesome and why it will, well, rock your bottoms up, like Americans used to say. So this is because when we think about building or constructing new railroads, for example, like on the left side on this slide, then we need to clear the path. Let it be hundreds of kilometers, for example, like the Rail Baltic here in Baltic countries. They want to build this hundreds or thousands of kilometers long track structure, but then we need to cut down the forest and tear down the houses, which will be in the way. Then we need to dig about 7 meters below the ground, fill it with special fillers. So again, for the special filler, we need to dig another holes in another places and get the filler from there to put it in the ground to make the road structure strong. Then the rail structure, to construct the rail structure on it. Then we need a security areas both sides, few meters asphalt and fences. Again, we will block the moving of animals, for example, and then the maintenance. So this is a lot of resources which come from taxpayers. Yep. All right, let's see. Instead, we can do this. It's possible to build SkyWay up to 50 to 100 meters above the ground. So we don't need to tear down any houses or anything else. And there is, a lot of opportunities. And no, sea or river is going to be a blockade for us. So no problems with that as well. Yep. I believe this picture I already covered, but maybe a few short words is that the population grows, the economical aspects or people have more money, so to say, and almost everybody who have travel license have their own car. So the problems therefore only grow, and we need new solutions like SkyWay. All right, the third point is safety, and then the main things I want to cover today with safety is that, we have this derailment system and the motor wheel, and basically if you put SkyWay upside down or like this, then it stiffly holds to the road structure and it won't go off anywhere. This is the first reason. The second one is that we have this 360 degrees eyesight, or the vision, or the cameras that will scan the surroundings and then make decisions. For example, if any obstacle comes in a way, it immediately stops. So it keeps us safe that way. Then if anything happens with the model on the road structure, it stops. Then the another model, they perfectly match with each other. So they can either, they have these elements in front and in the back of the model, so they can either pull or lift each other to the maintenance or to the station. And if the previous version or the opportunity is not possible, then there are these special straps, and we can lift ourselves down on the ground safely. And there was a video as well in SkyWay community. Well, in your back office, if you go log in, then you can see the video where this man, who also, he is kind of heavy weight, so, but he managed to do this demonstration, and then it was perfectly done. So you can go look at it up in your back office. It was about a month ago when they released this video. And I believe it's much more safer to ride with SkyWay than to do it with this method here on the slide. All right, 4th point is that we have our own models and products, and we're not just showing, or I'm not just showing here some animation or photos or ideas, but we really have all these models already produced. We have our own production, our own facilities, both in United Arab Emirates and in Belarus, and of course the revolutionary new technologies as well, as sea containers, like this one here. So this Unicant U4 19201 is going to be revolutionary, and I know that already one contract has been signed with Liivakant city. It's about 100 kilometers long track structure which should be built to get the sea containers from Sharjah to Liivakant. And yes, here is the picture as well. So the unloading time or the docking time is under 1 minute, and comparing with trucks or ships or trains, which average speed with the previous just mentioned technologies, it's about 10 to 20 kilometers per hour, the transportation average speed. But with SkyWay, it's about 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, and then we can go both sides at the same time, or one side simultaneously with two sea containers, so to say, like here on the picture. So we can, in parallel, we can take two sea containers to one point at the same time, or vice versa. Yeah. So this is amazing. So fifth point is demand, and really we have demand almost everywhere. In tropical climates, the demand is very high because the population is very big, and the need for fast transportation systems is great. Of course, in Europe as well, and then in continents where the climate conditions are very bad and people do not want to go by themselves. Again, SkyWay do not have any driver there in the model, so it's all maintained or managed with artificial intelligence and with people, but who are not in the model, which takes people or goods from one point to another. So therefore, it's a great opportunity as well. And we have our own helicopter, which can take the parts of the road, or yes, basically the road structure parts. It can take from two necessary places globally. So, and these helicopters also do not have any pilot on board. It's like a drone basically, but a big drone which can lift thousands of kilograms. Then 6 point is that we have a strong and professional teams. We have more than 600 workers. We are all the specialists, and then we have many offices, and as you can see on the slide as well, we have more than 80 departments and design bureaus. So it's a great work that has been already done, and it's only growing. 7 point, financials. Yeah. So for customers, let it be government or let it be, for example, private label companies, they can all take in conclusion the opportunity to, for example, like in United Arab Emirates, they want to build about 100 kilometers road for sea containers, and if you do it with SkyWay, it's about $3 to $8 million per kilometer. Of course, the prices all depend on the ground and on the surroundings. Is it sand? Is it rocks there? How high we have to lift the technology? But average is about 3 to 8, and it's 10 and more times cheaper, but much more efficient than most of the technologies we know today. And the price is similar with tramways, but again, tramways are very slow and not efficient at all. So SkyWay is awesome. All right, news section. Now, a little bit about the news. This is the Liivakant news. I have already twice mentioned at least the 100 kilometers. You can also look it up in your back office, all the news actually. Then we will take part in Expo, also mentioned today, but I haven't showed you yet the mock-up, which is placed in Expo in the hall. where the Expo takes place, and this is how it looks. It's well, the size is minimized, of course, but otherwise the technological parts are the same as real life. And if, let's say, governments like it, or the members of councils like what they see, they can all go, and already have done, I know, and I'll show you this news as well soon. But then they can go to the Innovation Center, which is basically 50 kilometers from the Expo. So very awesome. Then we were well, after the certification processes and so on, we were covered in many media reports recently about the achievements in United Arab Emirates. For example, of course, the local news channels, and then, well, most of the countries around the world covered our story. Even Korea and Vietnam, I know, covered our story, and you can read all about these stories and what they, well, in details, what they told there from your back office. So again, I urge you to log in oftenly to your back office and take a look what are the new news, because all these campaigns and then the possibilities to invest into the company are also all located in your back office. So that one should be the place where you look up all the documents, necessary documents and information you need. So this is basically the main source of information and the fastest source. Then great news, which will, well, give certainty and security to investors and potential new investors, is the financial audit, which is, well, released every year, and also audit for the last year, for 2020, was recently released. So you can see what are the incomes, outgoes, and the money flow, and so on. Great document. I also recommend to read, and especially if you like to see the details, or if you want to make a bigger investment, for example, like $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, for example, then take a look at the documents. They are all located in your back office. And if you don't have yet back office, then contact with the person who recommended you to see this video. So basically your support, and then you can, well, he or she will help you to make your back office, so you can see and get the chance to read all the documents. And 2 weeks ago, diplomats from 20 countries visited the Innovation Center in Sharjah. Again, great achievement. So the news and the word goes around the world, as I said before. And to back up my saying, this is the news as well as the next one, which is also great, that the representatives of government organizations from Abu Dhabi visited US Center in Sharjah. So again, if you want to get the details about this news, go to your back office, take a look at there, and you can even see the videos and then read it by yourself. I'm just here to bring you the main aspects of the news stories and tell you about the technology, to get you into the information, so you understand that this is awesome technology and this will be here for a long time. And for example, the road structure, if it's built once, then it will last about 50 years. It's twice as much as the railroads today. Well, railroads are about 30 years or so, but this is almost twice as much the lasting of this. So this is a great technology. And the authorities, the last news is that the authorities of Sharjah also confirmed the reliability of the string track in the United Arab Emirates. So this is a great news for all the tropical climate countries, which basically means this technology is safe and ready to be implemented in tropical climates and in United Arab Emirates specifically. So United Arab Emirates is a window to tropical climates like India, Pakistan, Indonesia, all these where hundreds of millions of people live. Vietnam, for example, and so on. So where are the main problems as well, and needs for this technology. But now we have come to an end of today's presentation. It has been a pleasure, and in the end, I always like to show you this slide where Dalai-lama gave his blessing to Unitsky and said that it won't be an easy path for you that you have been taken. well, he said it to Dr. Anatoli Eduardovich and added that eventually you will be successful, and then gave his blessings. So that's great news. All right, next presentation will be held exactly in 2 weeks, the same time. So be in touch, come to see the presentation, and of course you have always the chance to look the presentation later via YouTube. So thank you to all my crew as well who are recording this presentation and later uploading it to YouTube. So you have that chance as well to look it up later. And of course, when you're here in live, then you can, then you have the chance to ask me questions as well, and I can answer this on live here. Yes. So right, see you all soon, and thank you for watching, and thank you for being an investor. And then let's share the information, let's share the news, and let's bring more and more people to the webinar so they could also understand more about the technology and therefore speed up our growth and development, and then, well, speak up the word, the good word of SkyWay to the world. All right, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. Goodbye.